Alabama and Florida State. Okay, Alabama. How do we feel about Alabama after that win on Saturday? Well, I think that I feel good about Alabama in the sense that I know that they can go out there and play with a new philosophy, and they can play with a new game plan versus what they had been trying to play with early in the season, or even what they had been playing with over the last 5 or 6 years. This is not going to be the modern Alabama offense. This is going to be a more methodical version of the Alabama offense, and it needs to be. They need to limit possessions of the opponent and do all the things that I was talking about last week. And they went out there and put that game plan into effect, in particular in the second half, and won going away. I don't think it's a dominant defense. I think it's a very, very good defense. I don't think it's a dominant run game, but it's a very, very good run game. They're clearly deficient at quarterback, and the interception in the end zone says everything that we need to know about what they are at quarterback. But here's what you have to know. Here's what you have to know is that Bama still has a path. And while this team doesn't have the ceiling that normal Bama teams have, they still have a path. I would consider it a low ceiling team. Of the better teams in the country, Alabama is a low ceiling team. This is what I mean by that. Could they win their division? Yes. But I also think that it's not a great division, because look at the SEC West. LSU struggling with Arkansas. They just beat Ole Miss. What is the SEC West right now? I don't think it's very strong. It's not a stretch to think that Alabama is going to win the SEC West and represent that division in Atlanta in the SEC championship game. That's not a stretch at all. But here's why I would call them a low ceiling team. Because normally, if you're in the SEC championship game, it's just like, yep, you could win that game and you could absolutely go to the playoff and win the national championship. If they were to do any of those, any three of those, if they were to win the SEC, win a playoff game, or the national championship, I believe it would be an upset to do it. Because this is a low ceiling team. They would not be favored over Georgia, but they're probably going to be in a 60-minute affair where if they win it, they'll go to the playoff. If they're in the playoff, they're going to face a team that's better than them. And if they win, it'll be an upset. This is a low ceiling team that is very good. That is very good. And you can't put it past a Nick Saban coach team to go out there and even overachieve. So that's my feelings with Alabama. Like I said, everyone's like, well, not a national championship this year. Well, I don't know if I would say that just yet. I just don't, because chances are in that bad division, they're going to have a 60-minute chance against Georgia to go to the playoff. And at that moment, you're still Alabama in the playoff. What happens if there's an injury on the other side? I'm not going to write off Alabama just yet. But I will refer to them. This version is a low ceiling top tier team. Low ceiling.